unknown, anonymous black preacher committed to doing justice in this state. Nobody's paying him or paying attention to him. Now he's a MacArthur Genius Award winner, speaking at the Democratic National Convention. Keep at your job. Do what God assigned you to do. And one day, anyhow, that's beside the point, but I got to preach. Yeah. Running through it. Yes, he will. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. And so Dr. King said all of that in that speech. And then, as he was reading that speech, and he usually didn't read speeches, he usually does what we're doing today, having an extemporaneous exemplification of his knowledge. Not that he wasn't prepared. You got to be more prepared when you speak extemporaneously, because you have to go upon the images that you have conjured, the notes that you have built, the ideas that you have accumulated, and then link them together in a spontaneous fashion to make it appear like you're doing it effortlessly. But King was reading because he was conscious of history. The cameras were on him. And check this. The other leaders tried to jockey for first place. First of all, they didn't want to speak after King. Understandable. Even though King in school got a C in preaching. Who was wrong, him or the teacher? I'm just saying, sometimes teachers be wrong. Not at Pembroke, but at Georgetown, they'd be wrong. So if I gave you a bad grade and you become a billionaire, forgive me. I'm sorry, Bill Gates, I had no idea I would have given you an A+. No, because I gave you that C, it made you work harder. Dropped out. And you became somebody. George Bush was a C student. C students always become president. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes F+ students become president. Fake news. Fake news. Anyway, back to my point. So King was reading his speech. For anybody else, that would have been an A+. But for King, for him, about a C+. So on the side of the stage, an insistent, radiant, black female voice whispers to him where he can hear her. Because you see, even when you fight oppression, you can reproduce oppression. So on stage, right, we were talking to Dr. Walton, one of your brilliant professors here earlier, and we talk about multiple forms of oppression. Even when you're fighting white supremacy, you might reproduce male supremacy. Even when you're fighting toxic whiteness, you might reproduce toxic masculinity. So while they were on stage, they didn't let no women up there. Only two got on that day at the March on Washington. Josephine Baker, y'all don't even know who she is. I forgot old people was up there. Cherchez la femme. Je parle un peu de français maintenant. Bonne vivante. Bonne paysanne de la reine. I know French. So, Josephine Baker, the great international artist who influenced to a degree Beyonce. Right? Josephine Baker got up there in her humanitarian, because she adopted kids from all over the world, in her humanitarian role. And then Mahalia Jackson sang, I've been buked and I've been scorned. Oh, I've been buked and I've been scorned. Oh, children, I've been buked and I've been scorned. I've been talked about, sure as you mourn. Right, she up there singing. Right? But that's about it. Mike likes your wrist, that about it. Oh, that's for the J people, don't even worry about it. So, from the side of the stage, she shouts, whispers to him, tell him about the dream, Martin. And so King puts down the paper. Despite the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Why did she know about the dream? Because he had given that speech before. Where? In Detroit, Michigan. Represent Detroit. Because most great things start in Detroit before they come to the world. Where Walter at? Where Dr. Walter at? Aretha Franklin. Don't make me call the names. I say a little prayer for you. Smokey Robinson. I love it when we cruising together. Look at y'all. Look at these young people. Look at y'all. The Supremes. Baby love. Right? That's how we did it. We killed y'all with that music. In them cars. In that pollution. But that's all right. Gotta get those gas emissions right. So she shouts, whispers to him, tell him about the dream. Because black women, even when they ain't in charge, they in control. And so the point is, oh, he just taking a picture. I saw him get up right there, brother right here. Get your hands out my pocket! Get your hands out my pocket! You're good. You're good. What's he talking about? My God. I'm the only white guy down here. He's embarrassing me. That's so wrong. I'm just joking. So, sort of. So King starts speaking about that dream. And most people remember 34 words uttered when he was 34 years old. I have a dream one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Many conservative white brothers and sisters and others try to freeze King there by saying that he was interested in colorblind admissions policies or employment practices. That ain't what he's saying. That was an ideal, not a reality. That's like you at the crib seeing a red Corvette pass by and you in the hood. And you go, that's my car. It ain't really your car. You want it to be your car one day. And should you grow up to have a red Corvette, you can say, back when I was a child, I was sitting in my hood in the Marcy Projects. And I said, one day I'm going to have that car, and now I'm there. That's when it's real. But most of us are like sitting in that hood saying, that's my car, but it ain't your car. King was saying, one day, that's my ideal. It is not yet the reality. And so we freeze King in 1963. But later that year, that speech was delivered August 28, 1963. I stand to be corrected, September 15, 1963. Less than a month later, King said, I saw my dream turn into a nightmare. When those 4 girls in that church, 16th Street Baptist Church, Birmingham, belong to their eternal reward by white terrorists. The major terrorists in this country have not been named Muhammad, but Bubba. White terrorists have killed thousands of human beings. Over 4,000 were lynched. And white folk sent postcards of the lynching as picnic items of celebration. I don't say this to point a finger. I say this to talk about history and to talk about that's in our lifetime. That's in the last 50 years. And so King said, I saw my dream turn into a nightmare in Birmingham. He said, I saw my dream turn into a nightmare in Watts, California, where the riots went on, where the urban rebellions occurred, where black people offended by police because the police attacked them. Many riots have been started, many rebellions have been started, like the one in Detroit, where over 43 people were killed until LA's riot in 1992, until its rebellion, the most violent riot and rebellion in American history. 1967, again, because of police brutality. And so, my brothers and sisters, Martin Luther King Jr. gave many speeches, like the one he gave the night before he died. Arguably his greatest speech. In his bedroom, tired, in bed, trying to rest, had a cold, and just flown into Memphis. It was raining cats and dogs. He didn't think anybody was going to be at the theater that night, so he sent the auditorium. He sent Ralph Abernathy and Jesse Jackson in his stead. And when they got to the auditorium, they called him back and said, there are 2,000 people here, and they don't want to hear nobody but you. And King got up. Can you imagine? He got up out of his bed to deliver one of the greatest, if not the greatest speeches of his life. All we ask, America, be true to what you said on paper. If you wrote it, live it. Then at the end, he said, I've been threatened by some of our sick white brothers. What they will do, and this is what many people forget, King was assaulted because he offended white society. He was not seen as he is now. It's hard for young people to imagine that. King was seen as an enemy. King was seen as dangerous. The FBI said he was the second in charge of the FBI, said that King was the most dangerous Negro leader in America. Martin Luther King. They called him names, Martin Luther Coon, like two newsmen have done mistakenly. They might have, but the collective unconscious has been fueled and fed by the memory of their race that King was called a coon, like Obama was called a monkey, like his wife was said to be not on the cover of Elle, but in National Geographic, like the Williams sisters, especially Serena, demonized and animalized. And so Martin Luther King Jr., standing on that podium that last night, said, I don't know what will happen to me now, but it really doesn't matter, because I've been to the mountaintop. And I've looked over, and I've seen, look how he's stretching, the promised land. Like that scene was the arc of rhetoric over which you could walk. Professor Williams will tell you about that in conversation. Constructing narratives that become metaphoric bridges from one experience to another, from one sentence to another, one paragraph to another, one page to another. I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with them, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory. Then he turned on his heels and fell into the arms of his best friend, Ralph David Abernathy, and his aide, Jesse Bruce Jackson. This is the king we forget, the radical king, the revolutionary king, the king who spoke out against the war in Vietnam. The king who said it's a time to break silence. I was speaking with Professor Wiggs about his call in Vietnam for us to speak out against that war. Civil rights leaders say you're crazy. LBJ, that's not LeBron James. That's Lyndon Baines Johnson, the greatest president black people have ever had. Sorry. Wasn't FDR, wasn't Obama. Obama was good, but it wasn't him. Wasn't your mayor, boo. With the tan suit, not him. Because Obama was scared. He ain't do much for Negroes at all, if you're going to tell the truth, but I don't want to say that out loud. Did I say it out loud? Damn, I might as well always say what I got to say then. Obama was scared. They didn't want to do too much. They didn't want to upset white folk, but they already upset with you. They didn't love you no way. They didn't love them, bros. Y'all hear me with the scoop. Come on now. Give me love for the train for the rich girl. Thank you. LBJ, redneck so-called cracker president from Texas, did more to help black people legislatively than any president in the history of this nation, including Abraham. Because Lincoln said if I could have done it without freeing the slaves, enslaved people, I would have done it. But we ain't, man. It ain't what your intent was, it's what the consequence was, bro. Even though you didn't intend to let us go, we sprayed. Lyndon Baines Johnson presided over what? Civil Rights Act, 1964. Voting Rights Act, 1965. And when King got killed, he announced to him what he advised the nation to do, those senators and congresspeople, to pass what? Fair Housing Act. That's the Holy Trinity. That's a triumvirate. Any word you can define, troika for three. Trio. $3, whatever you got. I got 3 on it. Transform the legislative landscape and political destiny of black people in America. King was brave enough even to stand against him, saying, I agree with you on civil rights, but I disagree with you on Vietnam. It's a time to break silence. And he was brave. He went against bourgeois Negroes who thought he was crazy, shouldn't do it. He met with gang leaders in Memphis right before he was murdered. He met with the unsavory, the illiterate, the demonized, the poor. He used the N-word. I know people don't want to hear that.